I've got something pretty exciting to share with you guys today. It's a presentation that Carrie and I were able to have with Moxi last Friday, and it's about something that I have actually been asked a lot about from our agents, from you guys. Is about a dialer and a messenger service that can connect into your CRM. So basically, we'll take a look at this in a second. What a dialer does is that it's a super fast, super cool way to be able to call multiple people, message multiple people right from your CRM. It's something that a lot of our agents have gone to third parties for, which is awesome, especially if you're looking for it. But now Moxi has they have announced and released it. It is now in the process of being rolled out. So last I checked my Moxi Engage, what do you call it? Profile. I did not see it there yet, but it's going to be within the next week or so. So I wanted to give you guys an update and take a look at what this feature is going to look like. So let's go through this little presentation that was given to us by Moxi, which I was very grateful for them to do. The dialer function. So there's two parts to this program. There's a dialer and there is a messenger. The dialer itself is built right into Moxi Engage. There's no new login. There's no application. It's right from your Engage. You can call through any number showing up in your caller ID. So your phone number, an office number. Save time. You can make templates of content, meaning one of the things that dialers often do is you can call multiple people at the same time in hopes of somebody picking up. And if one person picks up and you start talking to them and another two pick up, you can actually have recorded things, even if it's like, hey, I'm so sorry, I just got on the phone, let me call you right back. And that's the message that goes to them. So you can do some really cool things in terms of trying to call multiple people. And then, of course, in terms of like audio options and stuff, you can call through your computer. So you could do what we're doing right now with Zoom. You know, I'm using my computer microphone. You could call from your cell phone itself, but it's built, you know, the key to this is that it's built directly into Moxi. And so you're not going to any other platforms. It's built right in there. The messenger function of it is sort of the same thing. It allows you to choose a dedicated phone number. There's an easy setup. Again, it's scheduled right in there. There's some really cool templates and scheduling features we're going to look at in a little bit. So I'm not going to touch on that point right now. There is a mobile app for this to make sure it runs smoothly for you. So there is a mobile app that for the messaging part of it. And then there's blast messaging, where you can send one text to 50 people, but the text goes to all of them individually. So you send, you've got 10 people on a list and you send it to them, but it's not like they're in a group text, which you guys have probably all been in before, and then everybody starts responding and it's annoying as all get out. It is not that. You'll send it to 50 people, but they will all receive that text individually, which is a really cool function, again, to get information out there. And then if they respond, you can have a conversation with each of those people individually as well. So these are a couple of just the overviews of the functions of the platform. The rest that I have here are some screenshots from what this is going to look like when it's looped in here. So what you're going to see is basically, like I said, it's going to be looped in directly to your Moxi Engage. There's just going to be new buttons and features to use. There's not going to be like a new app or thing you have to download or another screen you have to go to, anything like that. This phone feature right here is going to loop right into this dialer. Instead of having to like log it from here and call from my phone, you can see I can, from this phone or from this text, do it right there in my contacts. You can open the platform. Let me try to zoom in a little bit for you. Whoops, it's recalibrating everything. Guess I screwed that up a little bit. You can open the dialer and the messenger without using a contact. And then, of course, you have the bulk options right up here across the top. Call with Wave, W-A-V-V, or message with Wave, W-A-V-V. That is the program. That's what it's kind of called within the Moxi platform. I mentioned this earlier, but when you go to make a call, you can dial in with your phone or you can use your computer, not only the microphone, but the speakers as well, right? So it's basically, like I said, like a Zoom call, but you're calling them directly. You can see up here, I'd mentioned this earlier, the power dialer. So I don't know how well you guys can see it, but I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit more without Moxi freaking out at me. I guess it is going to freak out at me. Up in the upper left-hand corner here, you can call multiple people and say, when someone picks up, that's the call that you're going to have. And then over here, you have a custom pick voicemail drop. Like I said, if somebody picks up but you're on the other line, you can have a message that goes right to them. You can also, again, in accordance with your state's laws, which is different from state to state, you can record the phone calls if you ever want to have something to refer back to for later. And then, of course, you can hang up right from here. So basically, the phone aspect of it is going to be this. Once you open the part of Engage that has the dialer, it's basically going to be a second navigation bar across the top, and all of your features are going to be up there. So you can dial multiple numbers at the same time. You can drop custom voicemails or templated voicemails, record calls, and of course hang up, all from that top bar. The messenger feature. So this is what the messenger feature looks like within Moxi Engage. Now, if this looks familiar, it's because it's built to look very similar to iMessage on a computer. You've got on the left the contacts, the conversations themselves, and then over here you've got the messages, the actual conversation. Now, this is what we were talking about earlier, this blast message. You can put a group in, you can put some specific contacts. You can do up to 100 contacts per text message. And what happens is they will each get that text individually. And then if someone responds, they will respond in a one-on-one chain with you. It's not going to be a group text, like I said. So you can text a bunch of people, and then as people respond, engage back with them, which is huge if you're doing lead gen, right? If you're doing listings to leads lead gen or social ad engine, and you've got 30, 40, or 50 leads that came in over the past 2 or 3 days, this is a great way to reach out to all of them at once. And then if anybody starts to engage back, have that conversation with them. The other thing that's really cool that I think was one of my favorite things that they showed me was that just like you can with emails, you can have text templates set up. So what you're looking at right here is that this person has 3 different templates set up for a neighborhood news sign up, a happy birthday text, and a new home on market text. And if you notice that, not to get into the nitty gritties too much, and I was hoping to, so they have what's called merge tags. So this is a bit of a nitty gritty thing, but if you notice where this arrow is pointing, it's pointing to kind of like the parentheses, or there's probably a fancier name for it. But these merge fields are basically fields that will autofill from their contact. Meaning, if we go back up here to what we were looking at, and you see it says first name, this home just came on the market. First name, happy birthday, hope you have been well. First name, wanted to let you know of a new tool. Those will all autofill with those contacts. So if you look up here, it's Nick, Hall, and Nicholas. When they get those texts, it will say, Nick, this home just came on the market, or Nicholas, this home just came on the market. So it's personalizing all of these text messages without you having to actually individually write each person's name in the text. I love this feature because, again, being able to automate some of this stuff is really important and helpful for our workflows, for the way that we're trying to run our businesses. But the more you automate, the more robotic things can feel. This is a great middle ground of automating stuff and having templates set up while still personalizing the content you're sending to those people. So I'm a big, big fan of not only the template feature, but the merge tags feature. You can schedule text messages to go out to people from this, which is, again, another really cool feature. Say, hey, I want this text to go out next Monday. Maybe it's a new listing you're prepping for. Maybe it's a birthday you're prepping for, right? So you want to have like their next 3 or 4 birthdays that week all scheduled out for those clients. You can schedule things to go out over the next few days. Again, a lot of really, really helpful features. Oh yeah, you can attach files like photos and stuff. When a link comes through, you can see the photo come through with that link. So it's not just a little link, it's a cool photo and stuff like that. Again, it's a really, really powerful way and convenient way of being able to send text out to people, send calls out to people, stuff like that. So before we go on, I know that I'm unloading just a lot of information. That's how it was given to us, and I want to give you guys an overview of this. Are there any questions so far on the features? Now, if there are, I'm going to try my best to answer them, of course. What number is showing when I send a call or text? That's a great question. So when you're calling, you can make it come from your phone number, and the caller ID having your name pop up. So JD Waldvogel with my number popping up. So your phone number for calls can integrate right in. because I asked this exact question to Nick on Friday. My understanding is that from the text message, it does have to come from a different number. You can still personalize it and put your name on it and stuff like that, but because of the way Apple and well, not just Apple, sorry, more so the phone companies, Verizon, AT&T, etc., the way that they have their phone numbers connected into their SMS texting systems, other third parties cannot just integrate into that seamlessly. So unfortunately for texting, it will come from a different number, but it is a dedicated number to you. It's basically an additional number. So it's not going to be like a 1-800 crazy rando number. It will be a normal phone number that is connected to you. That's a great question, though. Thank you for asking that. So let's keep going then. I want to show you guys how this is logged into your activity feed. So as you can see here, everything you do within the dialer and the messenger go right into that contact's activity feed. When you send a text, when you receive a text, when you, I'm sorry, I don't know if it's if you receive a text. I'm sorry, if you send a text, if you do a phone call, it automatically gets logged in your activity for that client. Now, one of the things that I've talked to a couple agents about recently is a frustration that when you send an email through Moxi and it goes into the activity feed, it does go there naturally. However, what you don't see is the email that gets sent, right? Like I can tell that I sent Nick an email on the 5th, but I can't see which email that was. What's great about this, and I've spoken to them about that for the record, I've asked them to update that, but what's great about this with the texting, and you can actually see the text that you sent through. So they have a little bit of a snippet right there if it's short enough. Oh, I'm sorry, you can see the sent and received. I was incorrect there. So when you send a text, you can view the message. When you receive one, you can view the message. And then when you send things, you can see all of that. So not only can you see when you've reached out to these people, you can also see what you actually reached out to them with. The last thing that I want to cover is the pricing for this and what this looks like, because this is available as an add-on in terms of the features and stuff. It is not something that is just going to be complementary into the platform at this time. So the functions and the pricing. This is, and I've done a little bit of research, very competitive in terms of pricing for a dialer for a month-to-month program. So you can absolutely go out and research these things and double check, compare with other platforms and dialers and stuff. But the monthly cost is anywhere between $30 a month and $100 a month. And you can see here, I'm not going to go line by line through here. They have a couple of just messenger programs, which is like text messages. It's almost like back in the day when my very first phone was a track phone, and I had to go to the store and buy cards to get more messages, right? I'd buy a $15 card and that would give me like 60 minutes, something crazy like that. This is similar to that, where at the lower levels, you get a certain amount of texts that come through. So you get 2,000 messages you can use, or 5,000 messages you can use. And you can see all of the things that come in here. Just to circle back to your question earlier, Tammy, when it comes to the texting, you can see here it says dedicated text line per agent with local area code. So like I said earlier, it's not going to be a 1-800 number, it's going to be a normal number. And not only is it going to be a normal number, it's going to be a local one from your area, which is again going to help people feel comfortable and familiar with that number coming through. Speaking of which, I have a 616 number calling me right now. You can see then you've got this third package here. It's a little pricier. Is the call option, the call package, and then the big kahuna over here is all of the above. So you get minutes, you get messages, you get all the dedicated numbers and voicemails and call recording, all of that kind of stuff right here. So those are the price points. Again, once this is available in Moxi, once it is rolled out, so when I go into Moxi and into Engage and I refresh my program here, once this appears for me right here across the top, I'm going to be able to just sign up and start purchasing then and there without having to do a thing. So that is something, that's how you're going to be able to pick it up, is just literally you click, you'll sign in, it'll ask you for your information, and you'll go from there. And then, you will have one-time costs if you ever want to go over, right? It's like an overage thing, where if let's say you're on that very, very basic level and you've got the 2,000 messages and you go over those 2,000 messages, you can have a booster of 100, 500, or 1,000 overage messages. Now these roll over. So if you buy the $20, the extra 1,000 messages, even if you don't use them all in that month, those are going to roll over to the next month. So, and then the same thing with minutes, right? So if you have one of the phone packages and you go over, you're going to be able to roll those over as well. So, and you will be prompted, if you notice this over here, users are prompted when their remaining allowance falls between 20. It will prompt you every session after that. So that's the program, guys. That's what we're looking at. That's what Moxi is rolling out. And when I say soon, I mean it should be like this week. They've started. It's kind of like how sometimes you see on your phone or Facebook where some people have an update before others do. They're rolling it out across the whole platform as an option. So this should be within the next few days.